top down, smoking on a fat cigar. Cool breeze in my head, bittersweet smoke flying through the air. It's the way I feel, smoking on a fat cigar. Look at sweet mama watching me play guitar. She got long black hair and she's smoking on a fat cigar. Black silk stockings and the finest of white. Those curves and that stomacher, she looking so fine. It's the way I feel, smoking on a fat cigar. Fancy clothes, diamonds, and big fine cars wouldn't be the same without a big old fat cigar. Talking about the master plans that'll make us go far. Such a beautiful, magical dream. Look into the end, we're holding all the green. It's the way I feel, smoking on a fat cigar. Big old fat cigars. Big old fat cigar. Big old fat cigar. Fat cigar.
I'm so
Great
excited.
question, Master. Please tell us what this is.
Okay, so we're drinking the Glenmorangie 14-year Quinta Ruban, and it is. So
What does
this
that
Scotch,
mean?
I think it's Gaelic for ruby red. Yeah. And here at the bar, we have the 12-year. I've always been very impressed with the color, but Glenmorangie is an amazing single malt. Like I was saying with Lisa, if you're not a Scotch drinker, this will turn you. It's got a wonderful sweetness in the nose. You get a lot of that port in the nose. And then
Port in the nose.
You get a lot of the port in the nose. And it's a wonderful, like, sweet, velvety mouthfeel. It's got some chocolate, some nutmeg, a little bit of like a citrus, like an orange. It's wonderful, and I'm excited to see how it's going to pair up.
Well, so far I'm liking the pairing. Paul, what do you think about the pairing so far?
I think the pairing is fantastic. I get a lot of the sweet, almost floral scent from the drink. The cabinet. This has actually been one of the first Ashtons that I've ever smoked, and I really love this one. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I started with this cigar several years ago, and it's probably the one that I probably smoked the most. I love this because it's got a lot of creaminess to it, some earth, some woodiness to it, maybe a little bit of nuts. It's really a fantastic cigar. Very, very smooth.
Smooth, creamy nuts.
Creamy.
That's
Yes.
what Paul gets out of this cigar.
Right.
Very nice. Nick, what about yourself?
I get the same with the pairing. You get a little.
I get to say creamy nuts with this cigar. Yeah.
Gotta love them nuts. But yeah.
What are you picking up, Dave?
It is also very creamy, and definitely getting some nuttiness from it. I was smoking a little bit before the pairing, and I believe that I'm getting a little bit of, I don't know, like some kind of like a very light spice in the retrohale. This is my first time smoking a Cabinet No. 7, but the burn on this is like absolutely amazing. It's razor sharp. It's a beautiful white ash. So yeah, it's smoking really well. I'm enjoying it very much.
Well, for those of you who, maybe did not tune in for the previous, kickoff we did for our Ashton event. Would you all agree? I wouldn't call this a mild cigar, but it's certainly, on the lower end of the medium scale.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
I would
Agreed.
say light to medium on the cigar. I don't really. I think it's a. Palate. Paul, what do you think?
You got enough spice specifically on the retrohale for this to be more of a medium smoke. I would agree with that.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Kurt's smiling at you, Nick, in the background. I don't know if that's, I don't know if he's agreeing with you or laughing. I don't know.
He's always keeping an eye on you, Nick. He's always keeping an eye on you.
I hope he's watching.
Oh, he's watching, all right.
I really hope he's watching.
He is.
He's always with me in spirit. There you go.
Oh my goodness. Lauren, you've been on the show before. You were on with us, a couple of months ago. What have you been up to since you were on last time when we did the VSG Robusto?
Yeah, at this point, working from home, pretty much just
That brings up the next question. What are some of the things that you, Lauren, have been doing to pass the time and fill the time since you've been home so much?
Yeah, honestly, I'm really big into fitness. So I've been trying to work out a lot, eat really well as much as I can. Obviously, I love to indulge as well, but cooking a lot. I love to cook. I think cooking
I've
passes
seen
the
some
time.
pictures of you cooking cookies and things.
Yeah, I do love to cook. I had like an egg biscuit extravaganza for Easter and brought them all to my family since I couldn't be with them, which is hard for us because we're usually all together. You guys know how it is. It's hard. I haven't seen my father in a while, so just trying to keep in touch with people the best way that we can. Right. Even if it's just dropping things off or waving from a window, unfortunately, that's like where we're at right now. So.
Right. Yeah. So let's stick with the ladies here. Kendra and Bree, what have you guys been doing since, what do you do to keep busy when you're at home to pass the time with all this? What are some of the things you've been picking up? Have you been cooking or just drinking? Can't get more tattoos right now. So
I can't. That's the sad part, but it's probably a good thing.
Tattoos.
I also have been cooking a lot too, kind of getting inventive with.
Kendra, what about yourself? Or do you try and stay out of their home as much as possible?
No, after 6, I'm home. Yeah. I also like to cook. I've cooked a little bit of salmon myself. But yeah.
What have you really cooking?
So I got an Instapot for my anniversance.
Ooh, I want one of those.
Yeah.
Do you love it?
It's great.
I need one of those.
It's like a fancier crock pot almost, but
Better than
what's that?
Better than a crock pot.
Well, it is better. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Crock pots are like yesterday's news. So yeah, and I just started physical therapy, so I'm trying to get, back to 100% when we reopen, and a lot of Netflix, Hulu.
Yeah. I forgot to say that. Netflix.
Yeah. I have 3 dogs, so a lot of parks with the dogs.
Yeah. Very good. Paul, what about you? What do you do when you go home? You probably just work.
Well, I go home because I have a wonderful chef at my house who prepares most of my meals for me.
Woo!
And yeah, man, yeah.
That's so nice.
It is. She's the chef of the family. I just grill. She's the chef. This week it's been a lot of soups, Asian soups, Italian soups. Really, just it's been fantastic. I'm really lucky.
With that cold, rainy weather, soups are just really, really good.
Oh yeah, and the spicier the better too. Oh yeah.
Hot sauce in that soup.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My youngest, Rachel, is really into hot sauce. I bought her a new jar of hot sauce. She puts it on almost everything she eats. About a week and a half ago, it's already gone. I've got to go get another thing of hot sauce. It's freaking big. I have to get something.
They say it's good for you. They say it bumps up your metabolism.
Yeah.
It does. It does.
Capsaicins.
So, Nick, do you want to tell us what you've been doing, knowing that Kurt's watching you?
Yeah, I'm working.
I'm working hard. Working, cleaning. I'm doing lots of merchandise.
If I'm not at the shop, I'm at home, and we just got 5 chickens and 2 turkeys. So most of it now is going to be raising chickens and 2 turkeys.
Now, I've done chickens before, and I understand how you raise chickens, but like turkeys can be very violent, dangerous birds, dude. I how are you going to go out there and raise
Be
turkeys?
careful.
The wild ones can.
Wild.
Face scratch off or whatever. I mean, those things are vicious.
Well, the
what are you
wild
going to do with those turkeys?
The wild ones are. They're wild. The ones that raised, they're pretty acclimated to other chickens and to your household and to people. So you can get pretty close to them. You can pick them up. You can feed them, obviously. And when they're in a flock, they're just kind of normal. They act like regular chickens. So
the turkeys act like regular chickens.
Yeah, they act like regular chickens. They're pretty friendly, but they're
like
a lot bigger and they fly a lot. So we're not going to clip any wings.
Oh boy.
We're not going to clip any wings, so they're going to be all over the place.
Heather gave a heart to chickens on Facebook Live.
Hey, Nick, are these chickens and turkeys going to last a lot longer than the last chicken and duck that you had?
I don't know. The summertime is coming around, attracting more of the wildlife because I live in the woods. So we're going to do our very best to at least get to Thanksgiving with the turkeys.
Yeah.
And the ones that we get up to about 40 pounds. So we'll see what happens.
Oh.
Well, Paul, Kendra, Bree, and Lauren, I think maybe we should start a Deadpool. How long is it going to be before all the chickons are gone?
Yeah. I mean, as long as he doesn't introduce any geese into the flock, I think he's good. Those vicious
the occasional coyote.
Like I said, they're okay. Like during the day, it's fine. At night, the property behind mine is usually swimming with foxes, coyotes. We get bobcats late in the season. So,
wow.
Yeah, we get a lot of wildlife up here. So it's going to be a challenge this year, definitely, if we want to keep them around. So we'll see what happens.
Dave, what about you? What have you been doing to pass the time at home? Or has nothing changed for you?
No, I've been
continuing to drink Sam Adams and
I've been giving up my
play
days
video
off.
games.
I've been giving up my days off and been helping out in Londonderry, getting our new ventilation system installed.
Nice.
So it'll be absolutely a smokeless, smoky place when everybody gets to come back. I can't wait for everybody to come back. It's going to be awesome. But other than that, I've been enjoying a lot of video games. Absolutely. And Sam Adams.
Yeah. Beer and video games.
Yep. Beer and video games.
Yes. That's very good. Lauren here.
Yes.
How has all of this social distancing and staying at home and we're not able to do all the normal things. Like we can't even go get haircuts. That's why Pastor Patron's wearing the hat because, my hair's getting a little unruly.
We're about that natural life now.
How? Oh, natural.
We have no choice, but go on.
How's it made you appreciate some of the things that maybe we'd normally just take for granted? What are some of the things that it's made you a little bit more thankful for, or that, where you live or things that you have?
Sure. Yeah. It's not a secret. We talked about this a little bit before. I'm really close with my family all around, not just my parents, my aunts, my uncles, my best friends, we're all family. So it's been really hard. Like Easter was really hard, not being able to be with my parents and have Easter dinner with them. It's little things like that we take for granted every year. Every year we just do traditions. We do the same old thing and get together with everybody. But it's times like this where we physically can't even be near them that makes you realize, spend as much time with your family and friends as possible because you never know when it's going to get taken away. Even little things, just I just want to go to lunch and have a glass of wine at a bar. I don't know about anybody else, but it's
I'm with you.
Things like that. Yeah. That we're used to doing on the regular. Even around here, parks are closed. So for a while before they were closed, I was bringing my Lola, my dog, who I'm obsessed with, to the park a lot. And it was just something to pass time and get out and bring in fresh air, but we can't even do that now. So it's little things like that can get taken away and make you realize and appreciate it more. I appreciate being home more, my house more. projects around the house. It is pretty clean. Yeah, I've been working on projects. I feel like the next day something's a mess, but
No, that's where I live. Living with 3 teenage girls.
Oh, I don't know how you do it. Yeah.
Having them home all the time.
Oh man,
this has not been good for Pastor Padron.
Do they all get along at least? Do they get along?
The oldest Maggie and my middle daughter Anna, they're like oil and water. They're like the yin and yang of life. Yeah. So that can be, the youngest. Yeah. She's like, the happy-go-lucky kid who tries to get along with everybody and everything, but she's probably the laziest out of all the 3 of them.
Well, I think that everyone is kind of, obviously we're spending a lot more time with the people that we live with now. Mm-hmm. So whether that's going good or not going well, but we're learning a lot about each other.
That's true.
So stuff like that.
That's true. Oh my God.
But at least we're spending time with people that we love. And
That's true. And
learning how to use this social media platform.
The mess, and seeing sinks full of dishes. That means there's been food. That means there's been good meals together.
Exactly.
All the dirty clothes means you've got clothes, and yes, it means that there are people who are not doing their laundry, but it's also the sign that, family's going good and you're having people cared for and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nick, what about yourself? What are some of the things that maybe you've taken for granted that you're appreciating more, or you will appreciate more when all this changes and we're able to get back together?
The gym.
The gym.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I took it for granted for years, and going there, not going there, going there whenever. Now that I can't go, and I am, Danny, very, very grateful for you for giving me that total gym right before this pandemic hit.
That's true. That's true. I didn't realize it was right before this. Yeah.
I'd be outside chopping just random trees down, lifting up trees, lifting up my car.
I was going to say, you haven't made a home gym yet?
I haven't.
My living room.
I don't need to because Danny hooked me up.
Okay.
If it wasn't for him, I would be in a mental institution right now. Going crazy.
I'm really grateful because now my wife has been able to make that room her office, and she still has exercise equipment in there, but that particular piece of equipment sat in my house unused for over a year, and
getting used now.
That's good. I'm glad because
the things we took advantage of, right?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Didn't appreciate it until now.
The best of intentions, but I'm glad. I'm so glad it's being used.
But I miss the gym. I miss the gym so much. I do. Paul,
the gym, it's my outlet personally.
Yeah. It's like my me time.
What do you miss, Paul?
I'm reading Facebook Live.
I miss my favorite beer bar.
What's your favorite beer bar, Paul?
Well, my favorite beer bar is attached to the market that we go to mostly. It's a Whole Foods market in Nashua, and my favorite beer bar is Jay Bartlett's. And that's one of the reasons why I always volunteer on my day off to go shopping, because I end up going for a few beers after I shop. So what normally takes maybe like an hour, maybe like 2 or 3 hours later, I come home and she knows that I've been to that beer bar. So
Paul's gone for like 6 hours.
I look forward to getting back there. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
You're like, honey, I'm just gonna go grab a few things at the market.
Yeah, exactly. Gallon of milk and a loaf of bread, and 3 hours later, I come back with a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk and 3 beers.
He's happy.
Kendra, what about yourself? What are some things that maybe you've been taking for granted that you're either enjoying now because you can, or will enjoy when all this is over?
I miss the mall.
You miss the mall? The mall?
I've been online shopping a lot. I don't know about you guys. There's an Amazon package every day.
What mall, Kendra?
I miss my days off and going to the Burlington Mall and having a Kenji day where I buy some shoes or things I don't need. Yeah. I don't know.
I've been online
Superficial,
shopping
I guess, but
way too much. I don't know about you.
Me too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are you like Eric Wentworth? Do you have a room full of shoes?
Yeah.
You do?
Absolutely.
I have a lot.
Boots.
Yeah.
Boots.
Love
Sweaters
boots.
and
Yeah.
bears.
How many pairs, Kendra?
I haven't counted, but it is a lot. It is a lot.
How do I get
Well,
background?
how many did Eric have?
Eric said, I think Eric Wentworth said he had something like 300 pairs of sneakers.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's crazy.
He has a room for sneakers. He has a sneaker room.
Yeah.
Lauren, what's your favorite boot brand?
Oh, I don't discriminate. I love all boots.
Come on.
From really expensive to inexpensive. I love them all. I love boots. I love fall and boot season. It's just easy.
Sweaters,
and it's more
leggings, and boots.
comfortable. Yeah.
Sweaters
exactly.
and boots.
Guys, I don't know what I'm gonna do when I go back to work. All I wear is leggings and workout clothes at this point. I got dressed up tonight, so I hope you guys are excited.
You look great, Lauren. as
Thank you.
usual.
I appreciate that. But no, it's crazy. It's, our whole life has been kind of flipped upside down,
It's funny. Yeah. I mean, even if you're not, personally infected with the coronavirus, everybody is affected by the coronavirus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just been crazy. Bree, what about yourself? Can you answer that question?
Oh yeah. So every single thing that every single one of you guys has listed, I miss very much. So to add something new to the pool, along the line of having me days, I miss like spa treat. I miss like getting my nails and hair done. I miss that, the me days.
My nails. Guys,
yes,
my nails.
like this is it's not a
COVID nails. It's a real thing.
COVID
I
nails.
have glue on nails on. You don't even want to see these nails. They're so bad.
My nails
So-
are fine.
Things that we took advantage of.
oh yeah, and people watching. People watching is another big thing too. I miss like going out to the bar and just like watching. The character
Hanging out.
Yeah.
I miss catching up with a girlfriend at a bar, just like sitting and just chatting and having fun.
Oh yeah.
Soon enough, guys. Hopefully.
Dave, I want to know the answer from you. What are some things that you've taken for granted, or again, has nothing really changed since you still have Sam Adams in your Xbox?
Come on.
Well, I'm an introvert, so for me,
nothing's changed.
Not much has really changed.
I thought he was going to say, come on.
It's pretty much like I'm still wearing jeans and t-shirts and sneakers, and it's not much. Yeah, not much has really changed for me. This is kind of like good for me. I'm like, all right.
But I've been hearing that from a lot of introverts. A couple good friends that are introverts, and they're like, they're fine with it. They feel at peace. They're happy. But like for me, I'm an extrovert.
Right.
For me, it's so hard. And for a lot of my colleagues and everything, it's so hard for us to sit still and be in one place and never leave our house. And, it's just been such a experience. That's all I can say. It makes you appreciate some of it, but then you also just like, I cannot wait to drive to New Hampshire and go sit at the bar at Twin Smoke Shop and have some of Kurt's tequila. That's going to be my first thing I do.
Well, most of my friends that I grew up with also have moved away. So I get to spend most of my time with them on Xbox Live and stuff like that. So that's pretty much where I'm at anyways. So not much has really changed. Plus I'm a single dad raising two boys. So I'm at home with them anyways, you know? So
playing video games. You've taught them well, Dave.
I have to say, I just
I prepared them. I prepared them for the
You've prepared them.
I just focused back into the Kurt in the background.
He's still smiling.
It really is kind of freaky.
It's so good to see that Kurt
is always watching.
He's enjoying the whole thing. It's so
funny.
It's
He's having a good time.
It looks real on screen. It's so funny.
He's so looking forward to being with us next week.
He's like so excited.
I can't even. He's so proud of us. That's so wonderful. That's so wonderful.
We love you, Kurt.
Watching right now.
So, Lauren, tell us a little bit about the promotion that is running right now at Twins. This is really what's going on. the next week we have some exciting deals with Ashton Cigars. You want to tell us a little bit about what's going on?
I definitely do. So we're super excited. Every week, well, not every week, sorry. 1 week out of each month coming up until August, we're going to be running specials, whether it's on Ashton, La Rumba de Cuba, or San Cristobal. And then August will be all of our brands, which is super exciting. So coming up this week of May, we're going to have 20% off all Ashton products. You're also going to receive, which has a lot of Ashton in it now, so I don't know if I want to pick my ashtray up, but an oval ashtray from Ashton, which is it's a beautiful ashtray. I use it at home on my coffee table and everything. So you're going to get one of those along with an Ashton hat. And then every box that you purchase, so every single month that's upcoming until August, every box you purchase, you're going to be entered in a raffle, and you guys can win a grand prize of 2 for 2 to Philadelphia. So
2 for 2.
You're gonna
2 for 2.
2 for 2. 2 for 2.
2 for
yeah.
2.
So
a trip for 2. A trip for 2. A round trip for 2.
Round trip. Round trip to Philadelphia. You're going to stay downtown, which I've stayed at the exact hotel. It's brand new. It's right in Center City, 2 seconds from the Ashton Cigar Bar. You get $250 towards a gift card to the Ashton Cigar Bar, along with a gift card to a Steven Star restaurant for $250. So it's an over $2,500 grand prize. It's super exciting. With everything going on right now, it's something to look forward to. And it does not expire, which is the big part. So we don't know what's going to happen the next upcoming months or even the fall. So if, God forbid, you can't use it until next year, next spring, you guys will be going to Philadelphia, enjoying yourself and going through that whole experience. So we're super excited for it. You guys are Ashton cigar smokers anyway, and purchasing the products, and now you're getting 20% off, swag, and entered into a winner grand prize. So we're very excited about it.
It's so awesome. It's so great. I mean, that ashtray, I know it's full of ashes right now. Yeah, just dump it out. Just dump it out on your lawn.
Hold on.
Dump it out on your lawn. Come on. Do it. Do it. Do it. That's right.
Do it now.
Do it. Do it.
Yes. Okay, it's a little dirty. It's a little dirty.
It's a little dirty, but look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
It's
so
really
good.
pretty. It's
Nice.
heavy duty too.
It's heavy.
It's classy.
It's very, very cool. Great
it's
ashtray.
It's very classy, just like Ashton. So it's a great piece for your home, honestly. Whether it's like I said, my coffee table, or if you have a man cave, it fits in either way. So prize to have. We always have them. So, but like I said, we just want to give back. We want to connect with you guys and just know that we're all in this together. We're here for you, and we want to give you something to look forward to at the end of the day.
Yep. It's awesome. So, twins, Kurt is always wanting really kind of give back to people. So most of the boxes we have in the store, all the Ashton boxes actually, any given day of the week is 10% off MSRP. So to be able to increase that to 20% off MSRP is just amazing. And we're happy to pass that savings on to the customers, and we're really pumped about that. And so to take advantage of these deals, all you need to do is call Twins for curbside service, and it's 603-421-0242, extension 1 if you want to pick up in Londonderry, extension 2 if you want to pick up in Hooksett. And for the next week, you get, and that is May 1st to May 8th, you'll get an additional 10% off the box price to give you 20% total off of MSRP. You can't get Ashton cigars that with that kind of discount anywhere. So this is a really, really awesome deal. Wicked excited about it. And that trip is going to be amazing.
It's going to be amazing.
Has anyone else, been to downtown Philly, that historic area of downtown Philly? It is gorgeous.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, it's awesome.
When we've been there, I have a couple colleagues of mine that I know they're watching right now, and we have experienced so many fun times, whether it's at restaurants or the bars down there. You always end at the Ashton Cigar Bar. It's such a great place. It's very high end, but you also can just sit back, relax, enjoy your cigar and a drink. So much fun. Philadelphia is a great area for food, and then just historic. Go experience it. Go look around and take it all in.
Yeah, there's so much history to see there and everything. It's fantastic.
And the Philly cheesesteaks.
And the Philly cheesesteak.
And the Philly cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
Great to see you, Mark. Replying to Facebook Lives. Mark, I miss you. Good to see you.
All right. So what's our final verdict here on the Ashton Cabinet No. 7? You want to go for that first, Paul?
I would love to. I would love to, Pastor. First of all, I want to give a shout out to our pairing master, Kendra, for this wonderful Glenmorangie Quinta Ruban. Thank you, Kendra.
Good job, Kendra.
This has been a phenomenal pairing. The wonderful flavors that I'm getting out of the drink is just pairing wonderfully with the cigar. The cigar, wonderful earth tones, nice woody tones, beautiful spice on the retrohale, nice and creamy smooth. Just a phenomenal cigar. I would definitely recommend everyone try this.
Nick, do you still have any of your drink left?
No.
No.
I think we finished ours for our last time.
I was thinking about just now. I was thinking about drinking the wine, but I'm like, I gotta wait.
Well, what do you? What do you? Think
I still got the bottle.
All right.
I hear you got 2 bottles, Dave. Yeah, I hear you got 2 bottles. Yeah. All right.
Get another bottle. Pairing amazing. My hat's off to Kendra, man. She knocked it out of the park again. Definitely the cigar is nice with the drink that I already finished. But the cigar is definitely a classic. It's definitely, I'd say probably got to be number 1 in the Ashton lineup. Very smooth, creamy, earthy, little pepper on the retrohale. It's a must buy.
All right.
The dogs agree too, Nick.
I can hear it.
Woof, woof, woof. Hey, there's no dogs in the bar. No dogs in the bar. It's a dog-free zone.
Only dog walkers. Only dog walkers.
Only dog
walkers. Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Kurt approves. Kurt approves.
Dave, what do you think?
Right, Kurt? All right.
That was my dog. I don't know. Jesus Christ. Hello.
I'm really loving the creamy nuttiness of the cigar. I think the pairing is going really well.
Oh my goodness.
I'm loving all of the alcohol that Kendra gave me tonight. It pays to be last, folks.
Thank you, Dave.
You're welcome. Yep. I get 2 thumbs up. It's been really good. I'm happy. Yeah.
I bet you are.
Yeah. You're starting to slur, Dave. So I know
you did really good.
Oh boy.
Yep. And the universe remains constant. Bree, what about yourself?
Oh man. So.
Oh man.
Okay.
Oh man.
I say that a lot. That's my catchphrase. Ashton is one of those lines. I think it's the one that goes longest standing with me personally as far as what I sort of cigars. It was 724 and Ashton was like right there after.
Sorry guys.
So
sorry, keep going. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Kurt. No. But yeah, I think I had a BSG a few months back for a cigar dinner that we attended, and that paired really well. And one thing that I love about this pairing is that some cigars, they come right off with the spice, and you pair it with something that's a little bit bolder, and that's cool. But what I like about this is that it's a great kind of everyday smoke. It's very smooth, and yeah, there's not a lot of pepper like I've been getting in the last few weeks from other cigars, and sometimes that can be a bad thing for people because some people like a little bit more flavor, but this has the perfect blend of flavor and smoothness, and then the Scotch comes in and kind of rounds it all together. So at the end of it, you're not really feeling any kind of extra flavors, no char in the bad sense. You kind of get just a lot of smoothness, and every single puff you're tempted to take another one. So it's puff, sip, puff sip. It's like the perfect combination.
Awesome.
Puff sip,
Awesome.
puff sip, puff sip,
Awesome.
puff sip.
Puff sip.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Kendra, the question I ask you is, how did smoking the cigar affect your enjoyment of the Scotch?
So for me, the Scotch have changed to be really heavy in the tangerine flavors. I feel like I'm getting a ton of tangerine. The cigar is excellent, super smooth, and it's completely balanced the pairing and bringing out some nice flavors that I wasn't getting before I started, to smoke along with the Scotch. But yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and I'm not a huge cigar smoker, Lauren, but it's an incredibly pleasant, enjoyable cigar, and I will certainly smoke it again. Yep.
Yeah, and oh, sorry,
and she would tell you if it wasn't.
Which we appreciate. I appreciate that. Listen, I appreciate that, but that's what I was getting to earlier. That even if you're not a huge smoker, Ashton is a great brand to smoke because you don't have to be a huge smoker. You can enjoy an Ashton, whether it's classic, cabinet, even a symmetry, and it's not going to be overpowering. You can sit back and enjoy it, and it's not going to kick your ass, like some other brands. So yeah, it's an all around just, yeah.
I want to echo what everybody else has said. There is a lot of flavor to this cigar. There's a lot going on. It doesn't have a lot of spice, but that's not a bad thing. I mean, this cigar is supposed to be. This is supposed to be very smooth, very creamy, lots of different flavors going on, some good complexity to it, without the spice. There is a little bit in the retrohale, but all of those flavors just go incredible with this Scotch. It really is amazing. Those kind of orangey flavors that you were talking about, the tangerine, that was the word you used, right, Kendra?
Yeah.
It totally complements the flavors in this cigar. It is really, really great. You did a great job pairing it up again. I'm very impressed. It was totally worth the $10 split. The $10 split to get some of this. Are you going to start carrying this? You think at the bar?
Well, I think
Kurt's smiling in the background, so I'm thinking.
so we do carry this in the bar. I believe the 12-year is being replaced by the 14-year. So I think now it's 14-year Quintana and then or Quinta, and the 12-year will remain La Santa. So I believe, yes, we will be carrying it for sure, the 14-year. Yep.
Awesome. Well, this is the point in the show where we switch from smoking cigars to smoking pipes. But Lauren, you're still going to hang around, right?
I'm still hanging. I'm here.
Yeah. Hang out and drink and I've got some more questions that you'll be able to respond directly to. Thing.
Yeah,
but let's switch it up here, and I've got my Peterson 315 standard system, and what I've got in it, and what we've all got in our, is Peter Stokkebye's Luxury Navy Flake, and that is put out by Scandinavian Tobacco Group. It's a Virginia Perique blend, and it's a flake, hence it's called Luxury Navy Flake. And what that means is that the Virginia and Perique and this rum topping are all pressed under immense pressure for a period of time until it becomes a cake. Then that cake is sliced into what we call flakes, and you can either take those flakes and put them into your pipe whole, fold them up, twist them up, or you can take your put those flakes into your fingers and rub it until it's all ribbon again, and then put it into your pipe like that. And this is a very, very popular bulk tobacco, and we've not done a whole lot of bulk tobacco choices here on Not Just Blowing Smoke, so I thought I would go back to this. This is very popular, and one of the things to say about a lot of bulk pipe tobaccos that are put out by Peter Stokkebye or Lane tobaccos, which are all put out by the Scandinavian Tobacco Group. A lot of shops that carry pipe tobacco, for whatever reason, change the names of those tobaccos to be unique to the store. Take, for example, the best-selling pipe tobacco, aromatic pipe tobacco on the planet right now is from Lane, and it's called 1Q. The people at Lane, Max Stokkebye's the brand ambassador for 1Q. His grandfather invented 1Q. He doesn't even know what the 1Q stands for. No one knows what 1Q. How do you sell 1Q? And so a lot of people, a lot of places will just change the name of it, and they'll make it unique to the shop. At Twin Smoke Shop 1Q is called Granite State, and that is our best-selling aromatic pipe tobacco. In fact, I think it's the best-selling pipe tobacco that we have, bulk or otherwise. Luxury Navy Flake at Twins we call Shipyard Navy Flake, Shipyard Flake, and so a lot of these tobaccos you've probably had at your own shop, but it may have a different name to it. So if you're at your smoke shop and you want to know if they just ask for Peter Stokkebye Navy Flake, you may get something that says, Virginia Navy something or other, but that's what it is, because people rename these things all the time. I mean, one of the other Lane popular stuff is like RLP6. Who wants to buy RLP6, or BCA? BCA is one of the very popular blends we have at Twins. We call it Kurtz Cavendish. BCA stands for Burley Cavendish Aromatic. That's what it stands for, BCA. But we call it Kurtz Cavendish, and it sells so much better than BCA, So, a lot of these things have all this. So that's like a secret thing to all of this pipe tobacco stuff, is that a lot of the blends that you see that look like they're specific to your shop, they're just renamed stuff from Lane or Peter Stokkebye. And we are drinking a kind of wine, 3 sheets to the wind, correct? With this,
that's correct.
To kind of go with the ship motif here. You want to talk to us a little bit about this wine, Kendra?
Sure.
About this wine.
So this is from a local vineyard, Zorvino Vineyards, and a custom.
Ooh, that is.
Nick's been there.
I have. Good wine.
So a customer of ours, Earl Box, he gave this bottle to the bartenders here, and I've been saving it out back. And as Dan was speaking to me about the pipe tobacco, the notes, pairs well with rum, it just dawned on me that I have this bottle of wine out back that's finished in rum casks. And it's a local bottle. It's considered a fruit wine aged in rum casks. And so, I didn't know at first, because I haven't had the wine before, how fruity it would be, but pleasantly surprised. It almost reminds me of like a Riesling with like a radish. And I just took a couple puffs of the pipe, took a sip of the wine, and yeah, it's very, very delicious. So hopefully you guys agree. It's definitely bringing out that raisin, the fig.
Yeah.
It's complementing quite well.
Yeah.
Bree,
you're sitting right next to her. What do you think? And tell us your honest opinion. Don't hold back just because you're sitting next to the potion master.
My honest opinion is the raisin is strong in this one.
Yes.
And it's not a bad thing. It's you get a forward note from the aroma, and from the initial sip is raisin, and then as the sip goes down your throat, you kind of get a lot of like the fig sweetness. The pipe tobacco, once again, because I smoked this yesterday as well, this pipe tobacco, and this is my second time smoking it. I'm getting a lot of difference in I'm getting more flavor almost when it's compared to this wine. I think it's a pleasant pairing because the wine still has that sour note behind it. I'm not a fan of those wines that are like purely sweetness where you like drink it and it kind of overpowers the tobacco, but this wine kind of has almost a refreshing sour underneath the fig and raisin that pairs well with the tobacco, which is kind of like homey, slightly smoky.
Homey. What
Log cabin-esque.
What do you mean by homey?
Hey,
I'm not going to get into that.
You're not going to get into that? You're not?
Yes,
He's spending way too much time at home.
You're right.
We all are.
Nick, what about yourself? What are you picking up?
The deep, sweet raisin from the tobacco, some really deep, fruity sweetness from the tobacco, and the wine, you get that almost that same cross plain sweetness, raisiny, almost sweet molasses in there from the rum barrels a little bit. And it's really good, really good. And damn, for Kendra just to kind of, whip it together and, pull the bottle and say, hey, we should do this one. It's a wonderful pairing.
I'm laughing.
That's what I do, Nick. That's what I do.
I'm laughing, Nick, because the camera doesn't know what to do with your wine glass. So it just...
Oh my God, that's so weird.
It disappears.
So your shoulder disappears when you hold up the glass, and you look like a hunchback or something, or some deformed gnome. And that's why Kurt's laughing apparently in the back. It's like, oh, Nick's left arm just disappeared. Oh.
I think it's funny how Kurt is so happy that we're all smoking pipes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a first.
Yeah. He's laughing because we're not smoking a pipe next week. He's so happy about it.
He is.
Paul, what about you? What are you picking up here?
So I'm not a white wine fan at all, and but I will say this.
I love white wine.
Yes.
It's fine.
I'm actually enjoying this one because I think the sweetness, it's not overpowering. It's very light, but it's bringing out the sweetness in the tobacco. It's bringing out a lot more of those dried fruit notes, a little bit of raisin. The retrohale is just a nice, smooth spice, very, very light. It's really, really a fantastic tobacco. Very, very good pairing.
All right. Paul, what do you have for us for your news segment of the week? What do you want to share for what's going on in the cigar and tobacco business world?
So the PCA actually made an announcement today. I got this through the Half Wheel website. They made an announcement for the upcoming PCA scheduled convention that's going to be happening in July, and I just want to read what they had said. So, the Venetian Sands Expo Center, which is the home of the cigar industry's most important trade show, has publicly unveiled some of the safety measures it will put in place whenever the hotel and casino reopens. Those plans are notable because the Premium Cigar Association, also known as the PCA, is scheduled to host its annual PCA convention and trade show on July 10th through the 14th at the Sands Expo Center and the attached hotels and casino, the Venetian and the Palazzo. Scott Pierce, who is the executive director of the PCA, told Half Wheel on Tuesday that the trade show was still scheduled to happen and that the organization was in talks with the Sands Hotel, so the convention center, regularly thought, though, and are working on better solutions. The new policy called the Venetian Clean was announced publicly Tuesday. Las Vegas Sands Corporation, the owner of the hotel complex, has said there are over 800 individual initiatives the company is enacting in response to the coronavirus, COVID-19.
800 initiatives.
Yeah.
That's insane.
A plan like this is required for reopening for every casino in Nevada by the state's Gaming Control Board. Some of the changes are obvious. There will be personnel protective equipment issued to workers and guests, social distancing requirements that will be enacted, which lead to restaurants removing seating. The check-in desks and others will be receiving plastic barriers, and even the casino's iconic gondola rides will undergo changes.
Wow.
No more than 4 riders per gondola, and songs will be performed by people along the canal instead of the boats themselves.
Wow.
The most notable change is that there will be thermal screening at every point. The company says that there will be thermal cameras and such less invasive, but anyone with a temperature over 100.4 will be subject to a secondary screening. Now think about this. We talked about this by ourselves. In July in Las Vegas, it's probably going to be 115 degrees, right?
Everyone's going to have a temperature.
Yeah.
So if you're hanging out outside waiting to come in, don't you think you're going to be a little overheated?
A little bit.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll see how this goes.
Although I will say, as somebody who can be more introverted sometimes, I kind of like the idea of having only 4 people on, like my closer.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
There's no strangers.
Now, Lauren,
Yes.
I assume into the PCA. Is that true?
If the PCA is happening, we will be there for sure.
Okay. And now,
I hope it's still happening.
is this an event that you end up going to, or?
As far as I know, we as reps will be there. Ashton completely 100% backs the PCA. So if it's happening, we'll be there. And I would assume that all the reps will be there as well. I don't know how long each rep will be there. It depends on our territory and what makes sense. But if it's happening, we should be there, and we'll definitely be there to support and represent.
I know Kurt's planning on being there. So,
it's always a good time.
Yeah,
it's a good time. It's great to see everybody.
It's going to be so weird to see things. So, I mean, can you imagine?
I hope we're not all there in masks.
Yeah, I mean, it's if anyone was worried about the whole, having regular customers come in and get the tour. I mean, that's off. But now it's like, having these events, having these speakers. I've never been to the PCA before, but I've been to big major events.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it would be like when you're expecting in a particular venue to have 8, 10, 15, 20,000 people, and a 20,000 people arena only holding 5,000 because everybody's 6 feet apart. I mean, it's so weird. I know they're planning on doing that with ballparks and sporting events and stuff like that. I mean, it's so strange. I mean, how would that affect, perception of the event with so little people being able to be in particular places at one time?
I mean, I think that we're all kind of on the same page. We're all taking it day by day and waiting to hear what's going to happen. I think we're all wanting to hear about PCA because I think a lot of us want to go and want to experience it and have a great time and see everyone that we love and want to be around. So, but I think our life right now, unfortunately, has changed for a while. I don't know when it's going to be back to normal. So I think that we're just going to have to.
Yep. Stuff like that happens. There you go. Lauren's frozen in time. COVID has taken its toll. Oh my goodness. This tobacco and the pairing for me is really
Lauren's
nice.
iPad died.
No.
That could very well be. We'll wait and see if she can come back on with us. But the fruity notes of the Virginia are just totally being brought out by the wine here, and those the raisiny kind of notes from the wine, I'm going to say is like a golden raisin, and that's really complementary for the flavors I'm getting from the tobacco. There's this great spice in the retrohale here. It's It's a nice medium body tobacco. There's plenty of that perique spice. It's easy for me to understand why this is so popular. I mean, one of the great things about buying tobacco in bulk, when you're not buying the tins, you're not buying the packaging, basically, is that it's so much less expensive. So you can get, a bunch of this tobacco for what you would normally pay for a tin. And especially in times like this, when a lot of us are, dealing with financial changes too, because maybe we're not working as much, maybe you're having to work from home, whatever. It's really convenient to be able to get having to pay the big price for it. Anybody else feeling the same? You liking this? We've smoked some other Navy Flakes on the show before. We've done Speakeasy. We've done some other Navy Flakes as well. How does this compare to some of those?
Well, this is the first time I've actually smoked this one. I've never had the luxury Navy Flake, or as we call it, the Portsmouth Shipyard. But I'm really, really enjoying this. It's going very, very well with the wine. I got to give kudos to not only Kendra, but to Earl too, for providing the bottles for the girls. Thank you very much for bringing this in. But Kendra, good job with the pairing with this one. It's really, I'm not, like I said before, I'm not a white wine drinker at all, but I'm really, really enjoying this.
Well, and that's what I told you, Paul. I'm not either.
I told you, Paul.
I told you that.
I told you, Paul. You be quiet, Paul.
I'm not into white wine or sweet wine as much either, but what works.
Yep.
It works without question.
Hey guys, I'm back.
You're back. Whoa, there she is. Yeah. She had to plug in. Very nice.
Did I miss anything good?
Nothing important.
Yes.
Oh man. All right.
That's okay. That's all right.
The iPad doesn't want to, be around for the whole entire show.
Video sucks battery life, that's for sure.
So one of our customers, Matt Fisher, says he just bought a pound of this stuff.
I saw that.
Yeah, he smokes this stuff religiously.
Like it's going out of style. Like there's a pandemic or something.
He does. He buys this stuff like it's crack. It's just ridiculous. Bree, you're kind of new to the whole pipe smoking thing here. This is one of your first pipe tobaccos. I think this is your first Virginia Perique kind of thing here. What's your take on this? Are you liking it?
So honestly, I think out of the four pipes that I've smoked so far, this is my favorite. So initially, before I got into pipe smoking, I always preferred, I would love when people would come into the bar, they were smoking a pipe tobacco that kind of smelled like a campfire. So that was always my preference, but I'm not sure if it's just the pairing or if it's actually like a mix of both, like the tobacco and the wine. But this is very pleasant. I like it because it's not overpowered by the spice of the tobacco.
Right.
And it has like a little bit of smokiness underneath, but the initial notes that you get off of it are kind of like a subtle sweetness. It's normally I prefer things that kind of have more of like a woody oak kind of flavor to them, but this one is unique. It's unique in that it has
homey log cabin.
Yeah, like you know how when you bite.
I like that description.
Here we go. Yeah,
I like it.
So where Dan is coming from? The other day when I tried this tobacco, I was trying to tell him that it reminded me of my childhood days, where like you'd go into your grandmother's basement and you had, like in her laundry room.
Yeah.
I said, so you're saying it's like detergent? And she said, no, it's like the old wood on the walls, Dad. And Ken
very
was
musty
like,
and odoriferous.
Cabin.
It's good musty.
Oh, very good. All right. We did this last week. I think this might become a regular thing where
God.
we ask kind of a fun question. And Laura, I'm going to ask you first.
All right, let's go. I'm ready.
Because, you know, you probably just want to get it out of the way. And then you can laugh at everybody else.
Okay.
But this is a would you rather question.
Oh boy. All right.
Question, okay?
All right.
So you have to be honest.
I left my scotch outside. Damn it. Okay, go on. Okay, I'm ready.
So the question is,
Okay.
would you rather have one nipple or two belly buttons?
Oh God.
One nipple for sure. One nipple, right?
One nipple.
Am I alone here?
You're gonna
What are you gonna do with the belly button? What are you gonna do with the belly button?
What are you gonna do with a nipple? I mean, who's gonna care if you have two belly buttons?
I'll leave that to everyone's imagination. But I'd rather have a nipple than a belly button.
That's awesome.
So you'd rather have one of those than two of the other. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Nick, I already know what your answer is going to be, but why don't you tell us?
So what was the quote? One nipple?
What was the quote?
You would rather have
I'm going
one
to get my
nipple
scotch.
or two belly buttons?
Probably gonna be two belly buttons.
Why?
It's gonna be
Really?
two buttons. Yeah.
I knew he was going to say that. I knew it.
You want the attention?
It's gonna be weird.
He doesn't want to mess up his pecs. He doesn't want to mess up his pecs, man. He wants to go out there and not have people staring at his pecs.
They're gonna be
You'd
like,
rather
why
have-
do you only have one nipple? Like that's weird.
It's weird to have two belly buttons, though.
Behind two belly buttons.
You have two belly button rings too. That's cool.
I'd do the two belly buttons for sure.
Yeah. Dave, what about you?
You know, I'm actually with Nick on this one. I would totally go for two belly buttons. Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Look at that guy.
Because then you could do like fun stuff. I don't know, like
Fun stuff like that. Yeah. Look at that.
Rub
Like
your
two
belly
piercings
twice.
instead of one.
Yep, two piercings instead of one. You know, put like a link chain between them. You know.
Do a cool tattoo or something like that on your belly or something.
Yep.
Kendra.
So first of all, we really needed Kimber on this call for this question because belly buttons was like something that was a hot topic at the bar for a week straight. But because of what we discovered from that bar poll, I'm gonna say I would have one nipple. Because you can always have the second nipple tattooed back on.
Okay. Yeah, there's people who do that, you know.
But let me tell you why. Because
Let me tell you
what we
why.
discovered, or what Kimber discovered here at the bar, was, you know, how often does everybody clean their belly button? So
Oh boy.
Yeah, now you
it
got twice
actually
as much.
was kind of a hot topic of how dirty
Yeah.
that is. So I don't know. I think I'm just going to stick with the one.
So better to have one bottomless pit than two bottomless pits.
Exactly.
I've been looking for this. Oh my goodness. Bree, what about yourself?
All right. So throughout this discussion, I've gone back and forth a few times, but I think I'm. Well,
You're actually debating this? This
yes,
is like
because so initially I was like, I really like symmetry, not just the Ashton brand. I really like symmetry. So I would rather have, two nipples and two belly buttons because symmetry. But last week we've been having kind of an ant problem at my household, and I found a dead ant in my belly button.
You found it.
Wait, what?
Wow.
What's
That's
this?
so hot.
Oh my
My
God!
point is valid.
It didn't.
Yeah, I could see why you only want one.
So why did the ant die in your belly button? See, that's what's going on with your belly button. That it was
Very
so bad
interesting.
you killed an ant.
I can't get out. The vortex is too strong. I never thought it would come to this.
Come to this.
Paul, yours is the answer I am looking forward to the most. Would you rather have one nipple or two belly buttons?
I'm just going to roll off what Bree just said. For the possibility of finding a dead insect in my belly button, one nipple. Enough said.
That certainly seems to be the safer choice.
Yes.
Given the, a dead ant in your belly button. That's just.
Were you sleeping and you like woke? Were you like sleeping and you woke up and found it, or?
Even worse, I was like going to get in the shower, and I have a belly button piercing, so I clean it every night, and I was going to clean it, and I'm like, what's this?
Oh boy!
And a tiny dead ant.
That's crazy.
It happens. Hey, it happens. It happens.
It happens. It's normal. It's totally normal. It happens to all of us. It happens to all of us. I probably have 4 or 5 in my belly button.
Yeah, I actually haven't looked, so we don't even know what's going on in there.
Mm-hmm. See, Kurt's smiling in the back. He's loving it.
I know.
He's loving it.
Kurt is like, how did this conversation get so
Kurt would definitely have 2 belly
I feel
buttons.
like the face palm emoji is coming any minute.
Probably.
Is he watching?
I don't know. He was earlier. Kurt, are you out there?
Kurt, what do you want? 2 belly buttons or a nipple?
Yeah. I know. Why, guys, Facebook Live, what do you guys want? 2 belly buttons or a nipple?
I know.
Tell us what you want.
I'd like to know what people who are watching think.
Are you
What
still
would you rather
watching?
do? Let's see. Yeah, Mark DeMore said, well, this took a turn.
Yes, it did, Mark.
Oh,
Yes,
man.
Yeah, Brad Christie says, quote, do you clean your belly button, Kimber, for a week straight? Yes,
I told you.
Yes. Oh,
I think Kurt gave up on us a while ago.
Well, we are smoking pipes. He has no idea.
Yes.
He has no idea, you know, why people would do this. But it really is. I mean, you know, Bree, you've been smoking cigars for a long time and pipes, you know, now for a few weeks, really. I mean, would you agree that some of these flavors and things that you've had with pipes are things that you haven't found in cigars?
No, my headphones are dying.
Oh no! I would agree with that.
Everything's dying.
Mm-hmm.
It's well, with cigars, I think that they're both pipes and cigars. They're each their own kind of art.
Oh, definitely.
I do.
Definitely.
One thing I do like about pipes is the fact that you have a literal piece of art in your hand. You know, you like have this beautiful, like handcrafted wooden piece, and you're packing it with something that's, you know, there's no, you know, it's a plant. It's straight tobacco.
There you go.
You might have like a few infusions. You might have some flavor. And I like that with pipe, you can get that kind of like woody smokiness. You can kind of get like a few different types of flavors. And so I think it really depends on what you're doing. You know,
Right.
if you're at the bar up here at the 724 Lounge, like you're having a drink, like cigars are like so classic, but pipes are also classic. And I think that they both deserve appreciation. I think there's like something to be said for both, and they both have their pros and cons, and it really depends on the situation that you're in. And you know, if you're wanting something that's more quick, like quick drink, or if you're wanting something where you're going to hang out for a few hours and you're going to, you know, have a few drinks, and you're going to maybe like you know, like alternate like what you're consuming. And like just like this podcast, I think that it's nice that we can kind of have like our first pairing where we have a cigar, and you know, that's kind of like the chat topic. You know, it's easy. You just puff it once in a while. You're pairing it with something, and then you have your pipe tobacco, which has its own uniqueness.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. How are you liking it, Kendra? You're liking the pipe hole thing there. What are you thinking about this tobacco?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I would say still, you know, my favorite still.
Oh, yes.
but
Visions
but yeah.
of Cellophase.
But no, it's great. Super smooth, some nice flavors, and I'm really digging the pairing. So
you liking the wine choice?
Yay me. You're welcome.
Oh my goodness. Very, very good. Very good stuff. So, Dave, what's your final verdict on this Shipyard Flake here?
I love the dried fruit and raisin taste from the Virginias. The Virginias are always a big thing for me. One of my favorite things about Shipyard is the spice that comes along with it, and I feel like the wine has really brought that out. It's like heavily present on my tongue. Heavily present on my tongue. So I love the pairing. I think the wine is doing a great job of bringing out that figgy raisininess, dried fruit that you get from Virginias. That's my favorite part of Virginias. So this is like absolute heaven for me right now. I'm totally in love with this, and I give it 2 thumbs up.
You see the picture in Lauren's background there? Keep calm and drink wine.
Yeah.
I keep telling myself that all the time. Yeah.
Apparently, you need the visual reminder.
I do.
Just stay calm. Get another bottle.
It's gonna be okay. Yeah. Exactly.
Nick, what do you think? You've had other Navy Flakes and stuff with me. What do you think about this? What do you think? What's your final thoughts on it?
It's to compare it with the other Navy Flakes. It holds up pretty well. I would have to say that this is kind of because I know the Speakeasy doesn't come out all the time, and we don't have it all the time, or if you can't find it, this I think would be a great replacement for it. It's in the realm of Speakeasy, but not to the full extent. This is more of a light medium, really nice flavor in there, but the Speakeasy is so powerful, so rich. You get a lot more spice on the Speakeasy, but this is definitely, I'd say, right below the Speakeasy. I can see why Matt Fisher is completely hooked on this. This is a really good tobacco, man. I can see why this is the only one in his rotation. It's very good.
There are other things in his rotation, but this is certainly his most popular. Yeah.
When you buy it by the pound, that's definitely a major rotation.
And, with the pairing with the wine, they both complement each other with the sweet tones and the deep, rich molasses, raisiny flavors in there. Unbelievable. Very good.
Paul, what about you?
Yeah, you know me. I'm a big fan of the Virginia Perique blends. I really love them. That's the one that I think really hits my palate the best. I would agree with Nick. This is definitely a little bit more of a lighter medium tobacco. I love the Carolina Flake with the Perique. I love the Chenette's Cake. I love the Speakeasy. I would put this up there, but certainly not as it's not as flavorful as those, but as a bulk tobacco, this is really, really flavorful. Wonderful dried fruit, a little bit of woodiness. The spice is just really, really smooth on the retrohale. You can't beat it for bulk tobacco. It's really fantastic.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I would too. As far as, being able to, I guess the way to say it is stuff like Speakeasy is not as terribly as mass produced as this stuff is. They make tons of this stuff all the time. And it's really, really good for something that you can get relatively inexpensively. If you like a good Navy flake that you can have all the time and get breaking your wallet, luxury Navy flake is a great way to go. I think the pairing has been great. This wine has been fantastic with that. Really brings out the Virginias and accents the Perique. I think I've been getting enjoying more of the Perique notes, those dried fruit, the figs, the spice in the tobacco because of the wine, and I think it's been a great pairing that way. Next week, people, we're doing something very special. We are doing a whole episode with Kurt Kendall of 724. It took us a number of months, but we have finally coaxed Kurt out of his shell and are getting him on to not just blowing smoke. And it is going to be a special episode that is we're just going to do cigars next week. We're going to start off with the WK Torpedo.
Nice.
And then we're going to transition in the second half of the show into the original series 724 Lancero, which I think is a favorite of Kurt's. Certainly it's a favorite of ours. I'm really excited about this because basically having Kurt on a podcast for 90 minutes where you basically have to talk, we're probably going to learn more about Kurt next week than we have over the past year, because Kurt is a man of very few words. But not next week. He's going to be totally going at it. And if we have to get some liquor into that guy to get him talking, we're going to get him going. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So of Twins curbside service and pick up a WK Torpedo and the original series Lancero for next week. We'll be live at 7:00, and it's going to be a great episode. I'm really looking forward to having him on. It's going to be great. We're going to talk a lot about the history of 724, and there's nobody, who's more into that than Kurt. And this is a brand that's been around for a very, very long time, and Kurt is passionate about the history of it. Not to mention, he's passionate about his own version of bringing the cigar back from the dead. And it is a great, great line of cigars. I'm really excited to be able to have him on the show for the whole 90 minutes next week. So, Lauren, thank you for being with us this week. Thank
you guys for having me.
Thanks, Lauren.
Even when your stuff is all dying.
Anytime, I miss you guys. Yeah, everything's done. I miss you guys. I can't wait to see you guys soon, and I hope it is sooner than later. So.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you, Lauren.
Thanks,
anytime.
Lauren. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Lauren.
Guys. I'll see you soon.
Thanks,
Bye,
everybody. We'll see you next week. Stay thankful, stay safe, and stay smoky.
Surrounded by leather in my brand new fancy car. top down, smoking on a fat cigar. Cool breeze in my head, bittersweet smoke flying through the air. It's the way I feel, smoking on a fat cigar. Look at sweet mama watching me play guitar. She got long black hair and she's smoking on a fat cigar. Black silk stockings and the finest of white. Those curves and that stogie, she looking so fine. It's the way I feel, smoking on a fat cigar. Fancy clothes, diamonds, and big fine cars wouldn't be the same without a big old fat cigar. Talking about the master plans that'll make us go far. Such a beautiful, magical